Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to all of you? Can you please confirm? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Today it is about the full stack web development internship. I guess there's a small mistake in the poster. It was mentioned as IoT internship. I just asked my team to correct it. Yeah, it is full stack. Yeah. Let's wait for maybe a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. I just reached home today. Little early, I had another meeting, and then I reached home. So I thought I'll host it from home today. Good evening, everyone. It's right now. It's 7 p.m. Let's wait for maybe 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get going. As we are waiting, may I know which place you are joining this particular YouTube live? Which place, which city, or which place you are joining from? Okay, Kolkata, Visakhapatnam, Mangalore, okay. Belgavi. Oh, it's running quite fast now. Coimbatore, Bangalore, Davangere. Okay, we have a good mix. Okay. Okay. All right, I think it's time now. Let us get started. Let me share my screen. Okay, hope my screen is visible to all of you. Just confirm once, we'll get started. Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay, all right. Thank you, Rahul. Yeah. So let me put it in full screen and start the presentation. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to the online internship program in full stack web development. My name is Jayakumar. I am part of WSA or Webstack Academy's leadership team. And today is a kickstart meeting where we are going to understand what exactly is this internship program is all about, how we are going to structure it and execute it, and what are the benefits that you guys are going to gain, etc. And before that, we'll also give a brief introduction about our organization as well. And followed by that, we'll also share details about how you can seek support from our team, and also what would be the next set of steps. So I will try to take questions in some logical intervals, keep the message going, and in every phase or something like that, I'll pause, then we'll take some questions, and probably towards the end we can have much more question and answers. Okay, so let us get going. So to introduce ourselves, uh, Webstack Academy or WSA is our brand name, whereas our parent organization, it's called Emergy, which was started in way back in 2004. We've been in this education segment for more than 20 years now. And when we started off mainly into the embedded systems domain. We still continue to be a very dominant player in that, offering training programs, etc. And once we established ourselves into the embedded domain, we wanted to diversify into different technologies. That is where we started with Java trainings and initiated foreign universities collaborations. We delivered the students from South Korea used to come and then take training from us. And then subsequently, the Java initially what was certified, what was more of a Sun certified Java certification, etc. were there. Then Sun Microsystems was acquired by Oracle. Then it became an Oracle WDP, our workforce development partner. So we became a workforce partner and started delivering programs in both the Java and Android, because by then the mobile application development also was quite in mainstream. Because if you look back in 2009 or 13, there is no concept of full stack. Okay, so it was more of learning the front end, learning the back end, learning the database. So it was seen as independent pieces. Yes, we'll talk about it for full stack, etc. in subsequent slides. And then in 2016, we diversified into Webstack Academy. And in 2017, we formally launched it. We've been doing it for the past 8+ years now. Okay. So that's the connection between WSA and Emergy. Sometimes students get confused. It's the same parent organization. In fact, yesterday we kickstarted an IoT internship under the Emergy banner, and today we are kickstarting the full stack internship under the WSA banner. So as an organization, what we are trying to do is to solve three problems. One is basically to offer hands-on training programs for engineering graduates and help them to get into jobs, that's employability. Then the second thing is about enriched employability, where we target working professionals who wanted to basically take up training and achieve a career transition, or they want to transition to modern stack. Let's say they've been working legacy stack like .NET, PHP, etc. They want to get into the modern stack like MERN Stack, etc. So we help them more of an upskilling programs. And the same upskilling we offer to the corporate organizations also, where they take up that program, and it's more of a customized program whenever we do in the corporate segment, and then they build their talented workforce to handle more complex assignments and product development and things like that. Okay. So this is what we do, and this is our leadership team. Consists of Mr. Mas, me, and Mr. Mubin. Mas is our managing director, and he's the one who started WSA or Emergy way back in 2004. And Mubin is technology head, and he heads the basically designing the new program, pedagogy, projects, etc. And in fact, this particular internship, we are introducing a new, new project. I'll shortly share more details about the projects also. I may not go to technical details, that subsequently our mentors will be taking it forward. And talking about me, I am responsible for delivery in Emergy and WSA. I have over 24 years of work experience. Initial 12 years, I worked in the corporate segment, working with companies like Ishoni Networks, HP, and Huawei. And after that, I joined Emergy because we're all really passionate about education. In the past 12 years, I've been part of Emergy it's more of an entrepreneurial mode. And we've been doing a lot of programs in the online space, offline space, in embedded IoT and full stack web development. Okay, so that's about our team. And talking about our internship, whatever we are offering, it has been widely accepted. In India itself, 1,500 plus colleges students have participated in the past. We have footprint from 45 plus countries because when people look up for a high quality internship online, they do discover our page or our website, they register, and then we have very good traction from people outside India also learning. And also 7 p.m. in the evening time suits to many of the countries, Middle Eastern countries, European students, etc. It suits to them also. And more than 5,000 interns have completed our internship. And when you are part of this particular internship, you'll be writing around 1,000 lines of code on your own. Like the KLOC is nothing but kilo lines of code. 1 kilo lines of code you will write basically around 1,000 lines. So when I say this, it will look little artificial, or I'm trying to show off or something like that. But definitely, as you become part of this, you will be definitely writing 1,000 lines of code as a part of the internship program. Okay? And when you do such thing and basically build and deploy a web application on your own, it adds a lot of confidence to you, so that you can further be able to learn and build on multiple steps as you take your next steps for your career. Okay. So before we get into this particular internship, let us basically get into the web applications. I know most of you know. I'll keep it brief. So if you look at web applications, very simple. It has got a front end. When you say front end, what the user sees, typically in a browser screen or in a mobile screen. So which is predominantly the technologies have been standardized there, where we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Only these three languages or these three frameworks, right, can be understood by the front end browser. Whereas when you're going for the backend, where the business logic and the entire the scalability, security aspects are concerned, that is where the backend processing happens, right? Suppose you're submitting a form, right, or you're entering a username and password. What you see is a lightweight front end, whereas the authentication, etc., done in the backend. Okay. Unlike the front end, in the backend you have a lot of options. When you talk about web development, right, you start off with PHP, Java, and then students started using Python and Django kind of framework, right? And then we also had another language called Ruby on Rails, etc. So the front end pretty much is independent of that. Anything can be run in the back end, whereas in the front end it's largely HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So this is a very simple way to start understanding or interpreting a web application. Okay. So when I further break it down, front end, as I see what I see as a user. And in order for me to connect the front end to the back end, that is where the web or a World Wide Web or a TCP/IP based networking come into picture. That is nothing but our internet. So largely it is governed by the HTTP or hypertext transfer protocol. That is where the entire web traffic goes through. And in order for the front end to access the services of the backend, we use various mechanisms. In the past, we had some mechanisms like remote procedure calls and SOAP, etc. Of late, they have been replaced with REST API, the representational state transfer, where you'll be able to access the services. That is, if, for example, you wanted to do a username and password validation. When you submit the data of username and password, it will invoke the appropriate API from the backend, and then the connection or the data gets passed to the backend, and then subsequently the validation happens, right? And when you go to the backend, definitely the logic and the data layer is separated. The logic largely happens in the server, where the Python, Django, rather any framework that comes into picture. Whereas ultimately, when you want to validate any type of data, you basically go for the warehouse of the data, which is nothing but a data storage. Or in simple words, we can also say it is a database. Right? So these are the four components of web applications which help you to build an end-to-end web application, right? So if you look at from the technology point of view, as I said, front end is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and HTTP, REST, and the inside REST, again there were a lot of different types in which the data was transmitted. It was started off as a XML or extended markup language, and these days all of us have been shifting or sending the data in a uniform fashion called JavaScript object notation or JSON. And then, as I mentioned initially, the backend you have so many flavors like PHP, Java, JavaScript, etc. And then you have the backend database where you have a table-based or tree-based database, or a MySQL and the MongoDB are the most popular databases that has been used. Okay. So this is how the web applications are evolved. Right? In my beginning, when I was introducing Webstack Academy, I was telling, right, earlier days there were roles like front-end developer, back-end developer, database administrators, where, for example, each circle, or even network engineer for that matter, so each circle that is there, 1, 2, and 3, 4, was done by different people. You have front-end guy, you have a networker guy, and then you will work with the back-end guy and a database administrator like that. But as times evolve, one individual is supposed to do all the activities, including the front end, back end, and database mainly. So that is where the full stack web developer come into picture. So the full stack developer is supposed to know the end to end, right from the word go when you launch a web application, all the way up to he is getting the result or completing his activity. For example, if I am going and making a purchase, right, e-commerce purchase, until I get an acknowledgement of my payment, right? So the entire responsibility is handled by a full stack web developer. Okay, so that's about a tech view. And as I said, it has evolved over the years, and that's what we called as a full stack web developer. And even though we are living in a world where the AI, in fact, in your internship, you are going to learn about AI assisted development because today, it's not necessary that you need to write the entire source code on your own. So this time, one of the important change that we are bringing in, we are going to build a Food Genie app as a part of your internship, which is similar to a Swiggy kind of an application. And not only that, you are going to use the basically the AI assisted development. And AI assisted development today, when I give a requirement, whenever I am doing a source code, right, there are frameworks which is generating the source code. That helps to developers to develop the source code faster, easier. Having said that, one need to be careful. Okay? You cannot just like that copy paste whatever the auto generated code, right? It could be Cloud or Chat GPT, right? You cannot just like that use. And majority of this AI assisted development happens as a part of your IDE, your integrated development environment itself. It is very much you can integrate and then you can start doing it. Okay? So that way, it's a very good opportunity for you to not only get the taste of full stack web development, which we are doing it over the past 4 years or so. You'll also get a taste of how to use the AI assisted development. So that's basically the developer's view. Okay. And as you all see, full stack developer role is one of the most sought after role in the industry because that person brings in a versatile set of skills, or in a cricketing terms, right? Always the all-rounder who is a batsman, bowler, and a good fielder is always under good demand. In fact, fielding everybody can do, but if any player does both batting and bowling, is a great asset to any team. Be it Ravindra Jadeja or recently Hardik Pandya, right? So like that, since the full stack developer brings in both the front end and the back end skills, it is one of the most sought after role in the industry. So full stack developer, as I said, it can be compared to an all-rounder in the cricket, or a ninja warrior who has different type of war equipments or the weapons using which he attacks the enemy. Similarly, a general surgeon who may be able to perform a general set of surgeries. So that's how you can compare a full stack web developer. Okay. So why we need to build this? Because today every website that you use is data driven. As you can see, whenever you are doing a social media or your e-commerce, right? It is not that, for example, social media, it's all about data driven. Rather, you are uploading more and more data into the platform or the application. And it used by millions. Think about a situation where a Tatkal reservation system in a railway reservation, or the big billion days sale. How many? I would say millions. It's even billions of people sometimes come and access the web application at the same time. So today it's not only about building the application just like that. It also should scale where this many people will be able to use it without any issues. And by having a full stack web developer, you can also build features faster since the same person can do front end, back end, and the database compared to having three people working in and then collaborating between them and then ironing out the understanding differences. The front end guy may interpret in some way, the back end guy may interpret the requirement in another way. By having full stack developers, right, you will be able to release faster releases to the customers. And definitely, not least, just a minute, I'm getting a call. Just a minute. My team has mentioned that the PPT is not visible. Let me share once again. I don't know why it has gone into some trouble. Is it okay now? Are you able to see the PPT now? Can you please confirm? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was just trying to cover the various technologies that has been used. Okay. And then how the full stack developer comes, right? Okay. So what we are going to do in our internship, it is actually we call it as a MERN Stack. When I say MERN Stack in the presentation mode, so MERN Stack is all about MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. That's you can see the highlighted items are there. So when the application that are the front end application, when they become much more richer in nature, so you need to go beyond the JavaScript and build frameworks, basically to build a rich one-page applications or a internet rich front end applications. That's where the various frameworks or libraries like Angular, React, Vue, etc. came into picture. So React is one of the popular JavaScript-based library promoted by Meta. Many of you know. You will be basically utilizing that in this particular internship. Right? And MongoDB Express is the backend. Sorry, Node and Express is used in the backend, and MongoDB is the database which we are using. Okay. So this is basically about the web application. I just covered this section to give a view of what the web technology, how it works, etc. So basically we will basically now move on and then see how the internship is shaped up. Okay, probably this section, whatever we discuss, might be a scenario where many of you are aware, right, or you are already worked in certain internship and or you would have studied some of these technologies. But since we need to bring all of you into the same page, I thought I will cover this section. Okay. So now we'll get a little bit into the details of the internship, why we are doing this internship and things like that. How you will be able to build certain projects and things like that. We will see that. Okay. But before that, I would like to pause and check. We'll get into the internship details now. As I said, this is the introductory section about WSA, Emergy, and what exactly the web application, how it is evolved, right? Because when I interact with engineers today, especially the college grads, many of them, I see that they may not understand how the web applications have evolved, right? And why today we call it as a full stack developer, web developer, and why it has become very important to have the skill sets, right? So that's the whole idea. I would like to pause and check. Are you able to connect so far? Whatever is been shared, are you able to relate whatever I mentioned so far? Can you please respond? Okay. All right. Okay. Now I'm seeing a lot of questions about the offer letter. I'll cover it up, but anyway, this is like a common question I'm seeing in the thread. I'll answer that. We'll also take Q&A. Don't worry. Okay. One at a high level, please understand. At this juncture, we are having two internship going on in parallel. One is the IoT internship, which is done under our parent brand or organization, Emerzi. Yesterday, we kickstarted the IoT internship. Okay. So today, we are kickstarting the full stack web developer internship under our child brand or a new brand called Webstack Academy. So two internships are going in parallel. Right? So in case you applied to both of them and you are being enrolled into both of them, I sincerely request you guys to focus on only one, because at the same time 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. we'll be having sessions, right? And then you need to work on certain code on your own and then come back. I'll explain the details in subsequent slides. Okay. So my request is don't do parallelly, and then eventually you will not be able to do both of them. It requires some dedicated effort. As I mentioned that you will be basically writing 1,000 lines of code in this part as a part of this particular internship. Okay. So focus on one area, or we say in emergency, right? Inch wide, mile deep. Take one area, go deep. Because I'm sure in your college, right, you would have studied in breadth, but breadth will mile deep. Take one area, go deep. Because I'm sure in your college, right, you would have studied in breadth, but breadth will not take you anywhere. Yes, breadth is good to get an exposure, but it is equally important for you to build a depth taking one area. Okay, hope you're getting it right. Second thing, I'm seeing a lot of messages about the about certain questions about the offer letters. So offer letters you will be getting it. In fact, all the students who've been enrolled into this internship will get an offer letter. But having said that, there is a system level constraint where we'll be able to send it in certain bulk or certain certain set of rhythm. Be rest assured that it will reach you. So in case you not got not got the internship letter so far, kindly ensure that you wait for a day or so. Then I'll also share you how you can reach out to the teams. Okay, don't reach out immediately, right? I did not get the letter. Right? It will become very hard for our team to basically handle all. Just wait for 2-3 days. Our team is in the backend team is working continuously. They will be sharing you. In case still not got it, I'll share you an email ID where you can email and then seek support from our team. Our team will help you. Okay. So that is those two are the major points. And then duration, mode of internship, etc. First part, introduction and the overall web applications. Now we'll get into the details of internship. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So let me share my screen. Yeah. So now slowly we'll get into the why part of it and then how we are going to execute. Okay. This should answer all your questions, but nevertheless, we'll run through some slides and again we'll pause. And then I also have a FAQs or frequently asked questions. I'll answer them. Then we will see if anything missing. Definitely we'll answer them. Okay. So first of all, why this internship? Okay. Why we are doing that? From WSA side or from emergency side. So we have been doing the internship in a small pocket over the years. When I'm talking about from the beginning, we've been doing the internship programs. But of late, what we saw was that as the industry and academia, the gap is increasing day by day, or I would say the expectation from the industry, especially in the recent years, the AI-driven and the recession hit scenario, it is actually only companies expectations are only skyrocketing. Right? In these scenarios, what almost all the universities that we thought we are interacting are even at a highest level. The AICT, all of you know, All India Council for Technical Education, which is the governing body of all the engineering studies in India. So they have made internship mandatory. In fact, the Karnataka state, the engineering governing body, similarly we have VTU, Vishweshwara Technological University, they made the internship as a 4-month internship as a mandatory. So we started seeing a phenomena where colleges or universities have started doing this thing as a mandatory. Okay? So when this happened, okay, this also created some issues. So what are the issues, right? Suppose you are from a tier 1 engineering college, somebody studying in IIT or NIT or any of the premium institutions. So what happened was, due to the way that college is structured, the students are quite well versed with the hands-on skills. So what happens? They apply for internships, summer internship or winter internship. Companies actually induct them. They basically give them a real work or whatever the main project they're doing, right? Some of the work they will give it to them, and they'll also get a stipend and things like that. Right? This is how the real, if you see the internship works. But when this thing happened, when ACT or VTU started mandating it, what happened was they wanted to penetrate to all the engineering college students. That's when students like you started, getting the requirement from your colleges or universities to do the internship. But what the challenge here is, it becomes a chicken or egg problem. So companies tell, what, if you have skills, I'll give an internship, right? Then you will ask, sir, if you give internship only, I'll get the skill, right? This was a challenge. In this process, what happened? Many people started doing internship for namesake, where you go do some here and there things, right? And then, or even you pay them and they give a certificate and you give it to the college, they give a grade, and then it ends there. Okay. So we saw that there's a huge challenge here, and as Simergy WSA, our vision is to basically contribute in a very sincere manner to address the gap. And we all know you're all very talented students. In fact, in my recent interactions with the students also, I found them very smart. But one thing very common among all of them is that they're not getting the right set of mentoring and guidance. Because you have so much of data coming to you on a daily basis, you really do not know how to interpret which internship is genuine, which internship is not genuine, right? I saw already some questions coming in that, is it really a, legit, what is it, legit, right? Gen Z terminology, right? As is a pro and, what is that, OPG, OG, OP kind of thing, right? So is it a legit internship, right? And even if you say legit internship, are you able to do something, right? The important thing today, it is not about studying some books or basically passing some exams and getting some good grades. That those days are gone. Okay? And as we speak, we all know that the world is going through a lot of changes today. There's been already enough and more trade related issues were there, and unfortunately, it's really unfortunate to see the war that is happening around us, and these things do affect the job market. Right? And in a way, you guys require all the more guidance, all the more importance to skill yourself to basically survive through this challenge. Because companies, then definitely the jobs are getting scarier each day. On top of it, AI is coming and automating things, right? So these are all the reasons we saw, right? Why don't we offer something really, really useful? And kindly note, this is a lifetime opportunity for you guys, okay? Where you are going to build something really on your own. When it said, right, 1,000 lines, some students will be thinking, what, sir is coming in just like that, telling some stories or what, right? You will see my works. Anyway, these things are going to be in the public YouTube, channels, right? You can go back and check that. Otherwise, you guys will make a meme out of me, sir told 1,000 lines, but I wrote 10 lines, right? You will cut paste that video and put it, right? And leaving the jokes apart, I'm telling you that much serious it is, that much quality you will get it. And this particular internship, right, we are doing continuous request from the colleges and students. We thought this is our contribution, where we are going to skill you guys and make you really build something useful. And then leave it up to you, right? Once you build something of 1,000, then you'll really get a taste, right? Whether is it the domain I want to build, is programming is my cup of tea, right? Those doubts should get resolved. And definitely most of you will discover that, yeah, programming is so nice, and that is how the web application need to be developed, not by hearting certain subjects and getting a good marks, right? That you already done. And I'm sure as you move forward, you don't have any issue of passing good grades, right? So don't bother about that. Focus on this. As I said, international students also taken in WSA itself. 45 plus countries we could see has already taken the internship, right? And important was we need to structure this, Right? As I told, this particular program is will be a blended approach. When I say blended approach, it will start with a project. As I told, it will be a Food Genie is a project that we identified for you, where you'll be building something similar to Swiggy. And not only that, once you give the particular project, right, how are you going to implement that? This is where you guys face the challenge, right? So this is going to be both a combination of skill building workshops and hands-on coding, etc. Along with that, eventually you will build a project. In fact, tomorrow onwards, you start seeing, right, our mentors, whenever they're starting the program, they'll start with the project. So what happens is this helps in multiple ways. One is they're coming out of the by-hearted way of learning. They're going to really do hands-on and learn, right? Second part is basically, you are building something big, right? You have this big picture in mind, and that gives always a big motivation. What I have seen in interaction with the students is that when you clarify the purpose, when you clarify why you are doing certain things, right? You get motivated. Otherwise, we just like that do, right? You may not know, the big picture, right? It's very important. We structured it very well. And then thanks to the online digital medium that we have, earlier we were using certain webinar tools and all, but YouTube live is amazing. So we are doing it in a scaled approach so that anyone, even your friends, right, they can actually take it up. Right? And it's part of our industry academia vision, which I already clarified. We really want to contribute, whether it's for free, absolutely. In fact, it is our contribution. You are the worth of this. You will understand in the same quality. If you want to get somewhere else, right, you need to pay hefty sum, but we are not going to charge anything. And the idea is to make you guys exposed to this technology and build a passion for coding and programming. Okay, so that's why we are doing it free. That's the overall our vision. And what are your benefits, right? Important thing is today when you look at MERN Stack, if you look at the evolution of web application as we see, right? It's all started off with the language like PHP, Java, which I was mentioning. Right? So these stacks are the Java, MySQL, etc. These are PHP were used by some of the legacy web applications. When it's legacy web applications which are existing for a long period of time, when they built initially, they were using that, and then once they build, they don't want to shake it, right? They're keeping it like a legacy stack, right? But having said that, whatever the modern application that you think of, name it Netflix, right? We're talking in the world of what do you call T20 is happening. I'm sure a lot of cricket buffs will be there. I hope today or tomorrow is the first semi-final. If not today, I think tomorrow it is, right? Basically, when you see that, when you say T20, we are all watching in streaming, right? In Netflix or your Geo Hotstar kind of an applications, right? So imagine how many crores of people are watching it live. So whenever you want to build such a modern day scalable web applications, companies are basically building using the MERN stack. Any of the modern technologies you think of, right? Even including WhatsApp and Uber in LinkedIn, they're all use MERN stack, so that it is very lightweight and you can build scalable applications, right? Which is used by crores of people or billions of people. Yeah, looks like I'm back. Yeah, looks like I'm back. Am I audible, guys? Okay, cool. Thank you. I don't know. This is a some internet connection. Looks like I switched to another one. I had a backup one. Okay. This morning they said they restored. There's a broadband issue. Was there? It was fine when I started up. Anyways, now we are good. We have another, another backup always helps, right? Plan B, plan B works, right? All right. So let me just share and then continue where we left off. Sorry, guys. I don't know this network issues like. Okay. Right. So this is a program that we're talking about. Just in case you missed it, this is how it's going to get executed. It's a 30-day program, 15 live sessions, and you have 15 invitation sessions on your own, and then it will be YouTube and log via MS. You will get all the resources and support. And as a settle lessons, code along, build along, and hands-on. You can basically do individually, or you can also happening typing this right. Quiz will be you will be very for the internship purposes. And get as project so that you guys become confident to take on. Am I better now? Is it fine? Okay. Is it looking okay now? Sorry, guys. I don't know. Net seems to be okay. I don't know. I even checked with two nets now. The backup one started and then. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know. Today it's not a good day. Looks like. Okay. Let me continue. Almost there. Anyways, it's a FAQs we are discussing now. All right. So we're talking about the placement opportunities, etc., which is not part of this basically, and then resources what we give we discussed, and then certification. Definitely, when you participate in quiz, and and definitely you can submit this internship to your college. So again, some students ask for a clash in timings. We will not be able to change the timing. It's a fixed time, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Please don't come with such requests. We'll not be able to do that. Suppose I miss a class, will I get recorded session? Of course, it's a YouTube stream. It's all available in our channel. Definitely, you can get access to it. Offer letter, as I said, it's already been mailed. As in case you did not get, just wait for some time. It will be distributed in a bunch, batch by batch. Okay. Will you get internship completion certificate? Yes, that is also will be provided. So please keep your good work and then you will get it. So please take a note of this email ID, univ_manager at webstackacademy.com. You can very well, go and seek your support request. Allow at least 2-3 days things to settle down. You will get it, and then subsequently you can use LMS forum also to post your queries. And we'll also be enrolling into a Google group where will be announcements, certain job postings, webinars will be there. So we are almost done. These are our social media handles. We are active in LinkedIn and Instagram. So please do subscribe to get the latest updates. So with that note, I would like to welcome you on behalf of Team WSA and Emergy for this full stack web developer internship. As I said, the project is Food Genie, and also it will be an AI-enabled development where you are going to use the code generators, etc., which is the latest or the cutting-edge technology to do. And I sincerely hope you guys will to real hands-on skills by being part of this particular internship. Okay. So that's pretty much what I have to share. Again, a lot of questions about whether it is a free or not. Basically. Offer letter, etc. I think all the questions we clarified. Any other questions? Anything which I missed answering apart from this? Any other questions? Yeah, I think I clarified about the free, etc. Okay, I don't see anything coming up. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. It's a 30-day internship. I already mentioned. There's a question, right? Thank you very much. I really apologize for the network issue. Actually, I had my default Wi-Fi, which was working. Then I switched to a dongle when there was an issue. Then that stopped working. Now my Wi-Fi is again back working. So today is like a little bit what you call disco dance. Okay. So sorry about that. I hope we can make it better in the coming sessions. So thank you very much, guys. Wish you all the best. Please make use of this wonderful opportunity. We are doing with very genuine interest for you guys. Just follow what our mentors are telling you. Will see the magic happening towards the end of this internship. Okay. So take care. Wish you all the best. Bye. So by the way, this question on when is it? Your program will start from tomorrow. So tomorrow 7 p.m. please log in to the same session. Our mentors will start from tomorrow.